Well, welcome back, YouTubers. I got some good news and some bad news. The good news, it could have been worse. The bad news, it's going to have to go back to machine shop. But there's some more good news. And the good news is this. Got my Hillbilly Mountain Water. Everything's out. Let's talk about it. So, look at this mess. Honestly, it could have been way, way worse. The builder was surprised. I was surprised. Everything is pretty much salvageable. Let's talk about the main bearings real quick. I'm going to pull this guy off right here. And let's put it right here on the table. And do all this in one take so you guys can see it. Now, if you look right here, you get a focus. Not too bad, right? The builder was a little conflicted. He was like, I don't see any metal distributed into any of the bearings. Actually, the worst looking piece of everything was the cam, which is surprising because on the Dart SHP blocks, everything feeds from the oil pump into the rear main seal, then it's distributed out into the mains, to the rods, to the cam. So we were actually a little surprised to see this right here, this guy right here. You can sort of catch it right there on the cam. The good news is everything else looked pretty darn good. Honestly, if this was a junkyard motor or a stock block like the L2 one over there, I'd have said, you know what? I'll take my chances and I will send it. But since this guy right here is definitely a little higher dollar build, I was in complete agreement with the builder. He's going to work with me, and we're going to take this guy back to the machine shop. He's going to look over everything, make sure everything's good, put it back together with some new main bearings, and get it back out to me, and we'll put this guy back in to the S10 over there. So basically, it is way better than expected. All the metal that came out that filter in my past video, if you guys saw that, I've seen filters like that in the past. I've ran motors like that in the past, and what I have seen go through these guys has been way worse. Usually you see like big harsh lines in the bearings. You see lines on the crank. Everything's pretty much ruined. So really, the best case scenario that happened with this guy right here, I had a guardian angel come down and say, you know what? You're going to make this 400 work. It's going to be just little repairs. If you'll work with me, it'll happen. So I'm going to take one more sip for the car gods, guys. Because if I don't, then the next time this goes in, it may just blow up. Thank you, car gods. That's for you. I mean, just take a gander at that. The car gods have been fruitful. Very fruitful. Oh, so you guys are talking about the distributor gear, right? It's melanized. Look how beautiful that looks. Ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. Looked at the lifters, push rods, everything. Beautiful. So there's nothing wrong with that. I just got to put these in order because I'd like to put them on the same lopes that they came out of. That's why they're in this linely fashion right here. So I'm going to set those up, put them in some cardboard so they can go back on the exact same lopes that came out. I know that it's roller cam. You don't have to do that, but I would feel way better if they came off the same ones and went back into the same holes. So it's only fair that we address the elephant in the room. Cloys, we got to talk. Now, before I start my rant, disregard this. This was just recently when I added a nylon button to fix the issue. Nylon button did work, but it did not fix the issue that happened before your button failed due to your instructions. So it's pretty evident that the cause of the failure in all this was the button. That metal that ran through the motor may have been very fine, but it did polish the bearings. Luckily, the filter caught most of it and didn't scar up everything else. So we do have a little bit right here on the cam, but this is going to be completely polishable. All right, Chloe, so you make a lot of very good products, but your instructions need to be defined way better, because this is a clear issue and I am not the first. So you have a lot of notes in there about water pumps hitting the cover, causing your end plate to change, right? But here is the key. You don't have anything on here about locking plates for the cams. Now, how many people use this? I'm going to say this is probably one of the most used locking plates, comp cams, anyone else they're going to use in front of their cam, so these bolts don't back out, right? But here's the problem. Your buttons go inside, actually this way, go inside the locking plate, right? So don't you think your instructions should include a note about adding adequate clearance, look at this, to not engage these locking plates? I've called you guys. I have even said, like, where's this in the instructions? You guys couldn't answer me. And I've told you this has cost me thousands of dollars worth of damage. But your instructions do not include this, because this clearly needs to be addressed. I am not the only one. And I know some people are probably like, man, you shouldn't say that about Cloys. They make good products. They do. I'm not going to say they make bad products. They make great products. But there's some specific instructions that should be in installation procedures, because not everyone has used a quick button like this. You see what I'm saying? So if something like that could cause a problem in someone else's motor, which pretty much caused mine to come out, go back to the machine shop, it should definitely be in the instructions. Just saying. So car gods, I'm toasting you. Hopefully you can make it happen. Well, that's where I'm at, guys. It could have been a lot worse. I could have had pretty much everything trashed. We're pretty much just down to the bearings, couple of polishing procedures, and the machine shops can work with me, and we're going to get it right. Until next time, keep on wrenching, and peace.